have you been going through a rough patch recently? Because if you say no, I don't believe you. And that's not because I don't think you're thriving, because I'm sure that you are. You would be wrong to say that you probably haven't had like a rough week or a bad month recently, or you just feel like you're going 100 miles per hour and just chasing your tail at this point. We are going to fix that. I'm feeling very motivational today, okay? I'm feeling like I need to be the tough love girl that I am, and I'm going to pick you right back up and put you back on your feet, okay? So in this episode, I'm going to give you three main tips that are really important to reinvent yourself, to pick yourself back up and get over a setback, whatever it may be. Because you need to be able to handle these things in life, whether you've had a bad month or a bad week. You need to be able to handle setbacks, because this is just going to be one of many. This is going to be one of the many setbacks in your life. These three tips are actually really important. They are bite-sized, but they are going to help you. If you do these three things, then you are going to be able to handle all these setbacks that you've really been struggling with. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. Not everyone is perfect, and I have done these three things which have really helped me get back on my feet, and I'm feeling a lot better because of it. So you guys might need to hear this, so listen up. We're going to start with the most important step, okay? Tip number one, and this applies to any situation: breakup, long week, burnout, whatever. We're going to start, okay, with rewiring our brains. I know that sounds like quite a general term. What I mean by that is you need to start waking up in the morning and talking to yourself in a positive, nice way. And I don't mean like, oh, like it's okay. It is okay. It is okay to take a break sometimes. But I mean you telling yourself that you're capable, you telling yourself that you are your most confident self, even when you're not, because you have to start talking to yourself nicely. If you wake up first thing in the morning and you look in the mirror, or you just get out of bed and you're like, oh, I hate this, the weather's this, like really negative all the time, you are going to be in that mindset for the rest of your day. Like, it is very hard to start on the wrong foot and then change and just become like a really happy person throughout the day. Like, that's just, most happy people don't get up and are like, oh, I hate my life. And then they're like, oh, cool, great. Like, you have to at least, even if you do hate your life, you have to tell yourself that you can change it. You can. You are the only person capable of that. And I think you have to remember you are strong enough to do that and stop giving yourself excuses as to why you're not. So you need to start being kinder to yourself. Wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is speak to yourself nicely. Even if you don't really mean it, you have to kind of at least try. Like, we're going to start feeling sorry for ourselves. We're going to get down a whole rabbit hole about how we can't do as much as other people. You're actually capable of doing way more. It's just not easy. But it's not easy. And that's a fact. Like, if you want to change your brain, rewire it into thinking differently, you have to be strong enough to do that. And that comes with, when things are a struggle, you have to be the person that's like gonna not let that get to you and really filter in and make you feel shit about yourself. One of these things that's really interesting that I've heard recently, and that I keep seeing on Instagram from all of these reels and stuff, is these girls who start their reel with, oh, I have no time to see my friends because I'm constantly working on my business and it's so lonely and I'm so sad. I'm still single and I'm 30. All of these kind of things is how they start the reel. Or I could say, I'm 30 and I'm single. I'm living by myself. I have the financial freedom to live in my own flat house, whatever, which is amazing. I have the freedom that I'm single. I can go and do what I want. I can care about myself and I don't need to invest all my time and energy into someone else. It's like a blessing. I have my own business, which I'm lucky enough to even have. I have friends that I'm lucky to even see. It's just a whole mindset. Like, it's all about changing your mindset from, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm not as successful as this person, or I'm not as cool as that girl. Like, it's all about your mindset. You have to start flipping the switch. Let's use an example. Your issue could be, I don't like the way I look or my self-appearance at the moment. I'm not feeling confident. Your issue could be, I've just had a breakup and I'm not feeling confident. Number one, you don't like your body, your self-image, your appearance. You might feel like you wish you were skinnier. Or you could say, I am beautiful because I am a beautiful person inside and out. I have the ability to go and change that. I can go and exercise. I can eat healthy. I have the ability to eat healthy and to exercise, which not everyone does, because a lot of people aren't mobile. It's just a gift to be able to go and move your body. So I have the ability to change this. I have the ability to change the way I think. It's all about changing your mindset, okay? So let's say you've gone through a breakup. You could say, I'm single and I'm 22 and I'm never going to find anyone. Or you could say, I'm single and I'm 22. That's great. This is exactly what I want to be doing in my life right now, focusing on me. I'm going to use all of this amazing time that I have now for myself to really reinvest in me, to really make sure that I'm the best version for myself, and then I'm better for someone else. I can really figure out what it is that I want to do in life, focus on my financial independence, focus on my friends who I love. This is my chapter right now. I'm so free. Eventually, one day, you're probably going to be married with someone, and then you don't have that same level of freedom or that same level of time. So enjoy it whilst you do, turning the narrative in your head. And it's not easy because it's way easier to be negative, I think, but you have to do that. Another thing that I've really liked recently, such a great way to look at life, is that nothing is ever going to be perfect for you. There is never going to be a point in life where all your problems are solved. Your health might be great, but then your career might be struggling, or you might be doing really well in your career, but you're single and you've got family struggles. Once something gets better, something else will just naturally get worse, and that's life. You're never going to just be smooth sailing with no problems. And that's why it's so easy for people to be negative. The key in life is to find joy despite the challenges, because you're always going to have a challenge. Something new will pop up and you'll be like, I thought I was done with this, and you're not. But the reason why you see positive people so happy isn't because they haven't got any issues. They've probably got a shit ton of issues. They've probably got many, many things going on with their life that are really getting them down. But they manage to find the joy around the challenges, which make life worth living. And you have to be able to find the joy, okay? What else makes you happy around your challenges? What can you do that really brings you some joy? Because if you just completely let it ruin your life, let these challenges just consume you, you aren't going to be happy. There isn't going to be a time where you're waiting for everything to just work itself out and it's all going to be perfect. You're always going to have something. So you need to be able to find the joy around that in order to be just a happier person. The key isn't to fix your problems. The key is to find the happiness around your challenges in life, because otherwise there's not much point in living if you can't do that. So just think about what makes you happy, even if you're struggling. Have a laugh. You have to just find the joy in these little things and find them with your friends. Maybe that's the only way you're not going to get over these challenges and then everything's going to be perfect one day. There's always going to be something. So you got to just find the joy along the journey. You get me? We've rambled, but you know what I mean. And it's actually such good advice that I've heard. So remember that, because it really just stuck with me. Point number 2, if you can't do point number 1, which was rewire your brain, then that's okay. But you have to learn to fake it. Fake it till you make it, guys. I said this in my previous episode with Chamaya Dewey, who was unbelievable. And if you're listening to this and you haven't listened to that one, what are you doing? Because she was genuinely the best. Everyone could learn so much from her. Her point was fake it till you make it. You have to wake up in the morning, and if you're feeling rubbish, you have to fake it, because you will then eventually trick yourself into believing that you're super confident, or you're just going to get places because you at least come off that way. But it's not always going to be easy. That's why people say fake it. Fake that feeling of confidence sometimes, because it's important that you don't just let yourself get caught up with feeling terrible. Most people are faking it. A lot of people are, and that's not a bad thing. If you have to fake it in order to get where you want to be because you have imposter syndrome or you just don't think you're worthy, you're at least doing your best to try. Things you can do in order to fake it till you make it, little pick-me-ups that you can do to really give you that little instant confidence boost. Go on a date. Maybe they're going to give you these compliments and gratification that you might need in the short term. I know that sounds bad, because you might be thinking, oh, why am I getting my confidence through someone else? You should be getting your confidence from within. And of course you should, but it's not always that easy. So sometimes it is nice to go on a date and hear someone talk really highly of you and just hear someone give you these compliments. But either way, go on a date, get yourself out of the house. It's very important to do that, because otherwise you just feel really down and you just spiral. I can't be in the house. I feel like I am a big Great Dane when I get left in the house for ages. Like, you know, dogs that just rip up the furniture when you leave them for too long. Yeah, that's definitely me. I feel like I'm trapped in a cage and I just need to be let out like a golden retriever or something. And I've definitely been told that I give golden retriever energy, not black cat energy, which I think I'm going to take as a compliment, but I think either one is just as good as each other. But it probably means that my friends think I'm quite naive. But we move, you know, we move. Also, something I've found, which has really helped me when I've been in my rough patch, is call your friends, ask them what they think your best qualities are, okay? Ask them to just remind you why they love you. And I know that sounds like really needy and something you'd probably do in a relationship, or maybe if that is something you do in a relationship, it might be because you're seeking validation. But who cares? Unpopular opinion, it's okay to seek validation sometimes, okay? It is, especially when you're learning to seek that validation from within. So I called my friend the other day and I was like, hey, just to let you know, like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I'm really not feeling great at the moment. It's been a rough day. What is my best quality? Like, I just want to know what my qualities are. And my friend was like, cool, got you. This is why I love you as a friend. This is why you're such a good person. This is why you're great to talk to for advice. I was like, this is great. Like, keep going. Like, I could just have you on a record player all day telling me how amazing I am. Like, what more do you need in life? That's great. But it actually made me feel so much better. I was like instantly picked up, because that's how someone else thinks of me. And that's different to how I maybe view myself all the time. So I was like, oh yeah, I am that girl. I am that girl. Reminded myself, yes, remember who you are. You're awesome. So it really gave me a boost. It made me feel so much better. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Cool. Like, even if I don't think that, you think that, which is pretty good, because then probably other people think that too. So it just reminded me, I have good friends. Your friends should be there for you when you're struggling. That's a given. So it's okay to ask them to remind you why they think you're a good friend or why they value you as a person. And they'll probably be like, are you kidding? We love you as a person. Like, here's why. Point number 3. One of the most important things, guys, in order to pick yourself back up, in order to rewire your brain, in order to reinvent yourself after a setback, the only way to get back on your feet is to stop comparing yourself to others. I know that you do this because I do it too. And you're lying if you say that you don't. We have to stop doing this, guys. Like, it's high time, because this is really going to set us all back, okay? When I say comparing yourself to others, like, wherever you're at in your life right now, it's so easy to look at the other person and be like, why are they getting paid more than me? And why have they just got their shit together more than me? Like, I just feel so meh next to them. It's so easy to compare yourself, but that is going to drag you down, because you will never be able to look at you and your path if you're constantly looking at someone else's. And a great analogy for this, let's say you're a 100-meter sprinter in the Olympics. You never see a sprinter for 1 second, the minute they've started, when they're running that 100-meter, what are they not doing? They're not looking like left or right. They're always looking forward, right? And I know it sounds really stupid. You're like, Emily, duh. Like, obviously, like, why would they look left or right? But they wouldn't look left or right because it's going to slow them down, even just by like a couple milliseconds, to check where their opponents are, you know, to check if they're like slightly more ahead. But I feel like you have to be really focused and in your adrenaline zone in order to not do that. They aren't focusing on anyone else other than themselves. It's going to slow them down if they do that. So that applies to life, okay? That applies to you, and that applies to comparing yourself to others. Because if you're looking left and right and you're looking at this person and that person and thinking they're doing better than me, then you're not actually focusing on yourself. You're slowing yourself down by doing that. You are literally slowing your life path down by looking and comparing yourself to others. Because imagine you're in that 100-meter sprint race, okay? Imagine that you're a runner, okay? Might be hard for some. You're going to slow right down and you're going to lose that race if you look to the side. So stop looking to the side. Remember, when you start thinking about how someone else might have something better than you, to just like shift yourself back and put yourself back on your own path and be like, that's their path though. This is my path. And that's not going to change my journey. So you have to remember to stop comparing yourself to others, because it's actually going to slow you down. It's going to slow your progress down. It's going to slow everything down. And we don't need that. Pick yourself back up and stop comparing yourself. And remember that you're on your own journey and you will get there. Whether you're getting to the finish line slower than someone else, whether you don't come first, it's fine. You're still going to get there. It's just your own journey. Okay. And in order to stop comparing yourself to others, like another great way of not doing this is by listening to podcasts, preferably the 20 Survival Guide. But if you've already finished this episode, after this episode, go and listen to some educational podcasts. Go and listen to a podcast about politics or news or investing or mental health, something that's going to better you, okay? Something that you really care about, you want to learn about. Listen to podcasts and do research and invest in you in the long run. Like those things I only suggest because they are tactics and tools that you can use to invest in you. Whereas doom scrolling and comparing yourself to others on Instagram, on TikTok all the time, which is so easy. My screen time is literally through the roof, so I sound like a fucking hypocrite. I'm downloading some apps that put bans on like my social media because I genuinely feel like I'm spending years of my life on my phone and it's so depressing. Anyway, you have to stop doom scrolling, because this doom scrolling that you're doing when you wake up in the morning and go to bed is just like constantly looking at videos that give you 2 seconds of gratification. You're comparing yourself to someone else and then you go to bed and you're like, whatever, like was that even worth my time? Probably not. Go and invest in yourself, okay? Stop comparing yourself to others by doom scrolling and looking on social media all the time. You can do that sometime, obviously. We're not going to say we're eliminating Instagram. Like I'm definitely not. So I just mean go and spend more time on investing in you, because that is how you're going to stop comparing yourself. That's how you're going to like surpass everyone, actually. Trust me, if you want to win the race, focus on that. Don't focus on other people. You could be missing important opportunities that are actually made for you. That was point number 3, how to stop comparing yourself to others. I hope you guys found this episode slightly pick me up, because I know I've been talking like 100 miles per hour. I just wanted this solo episode to be a little bit more beneficial and like a bit of a pick me up this week. It's short, it's sweet, and I just think that if you're struggling, you can always refer back to this and you can always use these tips wherever you are in your life, and download the episode and save it. Don't forget to like, subscribe and follow, please, because actually all of those things really help me. And they really help this podcast. So rate it, give me a 5-star rating. I will be forever grateful. I hope you go about the rest of this week with these 3 tips in mind about improving yourself, and remember to stay on your own path, because you're doing great. You're going to smash it, but you have to stop feeling sorry for yourself and you have to get what you want. And go out there and grab it. Grab what you want. Be hungry, be resilient, because no one else is going to get it for you. No one else is actually going to pick you up like you can. It's all great and well having as many distractions as you can and distracting yourself from any problem you have, but it's never going to solve your problem. You're the only person who can do that. Work hard on yourself and just remember that you've got this, okay? Like, here's your little motivational pick me up, and go and use this and have an amazing rest of your week. I shall see you guys next Wednesday. Love you lots. Bye.